Just over 2 years ago, I was fortunate enough to be invited to Canterbury Cathedral for a day exploring the theme of harmony. Now, the day was partly a celebration of Prince Charles's 70th birthday, and it was partly a celebration of the book that he co-authored in 2010 of the same name, Harmony. And it was the most astonishing day. There was experts from the realms of agriculture, from education, from healthcare, people talking about architecture, people talking about all kinds of things from the perspective of harmony. And it really inspired me. It somewhat blew me away because as a qigong practitioner, we don't tend to talk about harmony. It was a word, or it was a framework that I'd not really considered. And it gave me the opportunity to really sit down and think about it. Now, if I look at it purely from a qigong perspective, what I find is that harmony starts to sound a lot like the work that we do within the practice. Harmony sounds like the process that we go through, which in simple terms means that we're getting the immune system, the cardiovascular system, the respiratory system, the digestive system, all of these systems, all these internal functions, the mind and the body, everything working together, being mutually supportive, moving us towards health, moving us towards vitality, moving us towards well-being. This feels like harmony. But then when you reflect on it, you go, this is only one piece. This is only one perspective on one piece. There's plenty of other people who are experts in this field of health and well-being who will have different frameworks and different ideas to me. There's lots of different practices. All I'm offering is a single perspective. And then you scale it out again and you look at it from the point of view of agriculture or from education or from the larger picture of healthcare, and you realize that harmony is actually a really big subject, and everybody has a perspective, and everybody's perspective is interesting. But nobody is correct. Everybody simply has a perspective. Now, within the realms of qigong, we have an idea called Wuji. Wuji feels really relevant to me in this. Wuji is depicted as the empty circle. And the empty circle, to me, defines unlimited potential. Within this space, nothing yet exists. So therefore, anything can happen. Anything can come into this space. Anything can occur here. This is unlimited potential. But as soon as you put something into this space, you limit its potential. So be that a thought, be that a theory, be that an image, it doesn't matter. Whatever you put into this space creates a focus that limits the potential of the space. It draws your attention towards the thing and draws it away from everything else that it could possibly be. So to me, Wuji feels like harmony. Wuji feels like this space that everything can coexist in a state of oneness, in a state of equality. It feels like an idealistic space. I'm not saying it's something that can be necessarily achieved, but as a framework, it's a really interesting framework for me. Now, from Wuji, we tend to then represent Taiji. And Taiji is, again, a circle. But within this circle, we see two shapes, yin and yang, two colors joining, yin and yang. So from the perspective of Wuji, what we've just done is we've put something into the circle. We've limited its potential. We've created complication. We've created judgment. We've created the ability to analyze. We've created the ability to say, I'm right, you're wrong. This doesn't feel harmonious. But actually, this is one perspective on Taiji. Another perspective on Taiji is coming to it from the place that we all live our lives. Our lives are full of information. Our lives are full of stuff. You know, you only have to pick up your phone and click it a few times or press it a few times, and you can get millions of people's opinions on things. Millions of different spins on similar ideas. Everybody appearing to be correct. Everybody claiming to be correct. Now, from this very noisy, very confused space, when we come back to something like Taiji, what we get is this very clear piece which is about this yang needs this yin in order to create the greater perspective. There's always two sides to every story. There's always multiple perspectives to be taken into account. So from the very noisy world in which we live, Taiji is actually a signpost towards Wuji. Taiji is a signpost towards harmony. It isn't a place to get stuck. It's a recognition of the interaction of multiple perspectives. And this recognition is vital if we are to move towards harmony. We need to understand how these opposing forces within us, the opposing forces that exist within our communities, within our country, within the world, how somewhere between them there is the potential for harmony. That to me is exciting. Now, again, as a qigong practitioner, you sort of look at things and you go, how can we achieve this? Well, as a big picture, it's a pipe dream. We're not going to, it's not something you can do in a 4-year term. It's not something you can do in a decade. You can't send somebody on a course to go, we're going to create world harmony. It doesn't happen like that. I'm always reminded in these types of situations of a piece that I heard about Kamisuke Matsushita. He was the founder of Panasonic, and John Cotter wrote this amazing book about him. And in the book, he was interviewed in later life about a project that he'd set up, and he was asked, how long until you achieve your aim? And his response was 300 or 400 years. I love that idea. That idea really resonates with this idea of harmony as a bigger picture, not just harmony within our limited area of expertise, harmony in the bigger picture. When can you achieve that? In much the same way as the conversations go around the environment, we shouldn't start looking after the environment for our own personal, selfish reasons. We need to start looking after the environment for the benefit of future generations, for our children, for our children's children. The environment is part of harmony. We need to be moving towards a more harmonious way of living, not for us, but for future generations. And that to me I find deeply inspiring. The fact that we can actually create foundations, we can actually make progress here that others can build on, I find to be really exciting. And it starts by having open, honest, sensible conversations, never assuming that you have the answer, and always creating the space to listen to others and hearing what they have to say. I'll finish just with a thought. I'm a bit of a fan of Stephen Covey's 7 Habits. When I first read them, I was like, oh no, don't like that. But there's one piece in here that keeps coming back to me at the moment, which is this idea of listen with the intent to understand, not with the intent to reply. It doesn't matter what our practice is. We should be able to use whatever our practice, whatever our framework is, in order to understand where we are. But we need to be able to listen to other people to understand where they are and how they view things. And through that we create richness. Through that we create depth. Through that we create understanding. Through that we move towards harmony. So this is just some thoughts on harmony from a qigong practitioner in a tent somewhere in Suffolk. And I hope it's interesting. And if it is, then yeah, let's have a conversation. Let's chat. Let's compare perspectives. Let's explore together. Thank you.